Hey Aquarius, happy October 2017. I hope you're doing fantastic. This is Dark Dove Tarot. I am going to use the deck I normally use, the Raven's Prophecy. I'm going to shuffle. As you know, I always pre-shuffle. I don't want to use that in the video. It takes up too much time. But I was going to use the deck that I used in my mid-month reading, the Deviant Moon, but I realized that the cards I normally use are extremely Halloweeny. They're black and orange, so that ties in perfectly. So your cards are kind of sticking all together. They don't want to pop out here. So again, hope you're doing fantastic. As you know, this is for singles and anybody who is looking to possibly reconcile, but mainly singles, just because those are the people who contact me with questions. Seems to be my audience, so I do cater to those people. Anyways, again, I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm doing the spread open this month because I wanted to start paying attention a little more to like different vibrations, colors, signs, numbers, etc. that I'm always telling you guys to watch out for, because I took a seminar recently on vibrations and I thought it was pretty interesting. However, I kind of always like the element of surprise of finding out what the next card is. And it looks like some people may agree with me on that because I've already gotten some correspondence from the very first videos I posted this month. So I may go back to the closed spread next month. But any feedback you have is greatly appreciated. Likes, subscribes, comments are always welcome. If you want a private read, the info's in the description. I'm going to pull a theme card for the month and then we'll get started. So again, this is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, but always check your Sun, Moon, or Rising signs because those may resonate with you more one month than they do another. So always make sure you understand it's a general read. If you want a private read tailored to you, you can get one of those as well. All right, so let's get started here. Your theme of the month is the Nine of Cups, which Aquarius off the bat, however you want to start it. Right off the bat, I guess to say, is one of my absolutely favorite cards because the Nine of Cups is all about fulfillment, bliss, pleasure, positive energy, kind of your wishes coming true, dreams being fulfilled. So let's see what the month has to say. But having that right out of the gate, oh, that might be it. Having that right out of the gate is an awesome start, Aquarius, to your month for October. Okay, so the first card you have is your current position. This is coming into October, and you have the Four of Swords. So if you're single, this immediately says that some of you have been dating pretty thoroughly, maybe a lot of dating, and you are resting up and recuperating from something. It also may mean that you've met somebody, one or two people, and you're putting your energy into those. I have one or two signs kind of open the month in a similar way. It just feels a little more calm, cool, and collected with the Four of Swords, because this is you saying, okay, like taking a breather. So either if you're single, you've decided to take a different approach. So if you're doing online, maybe you're going to do meetup groups, or you've met one or two people and you're like not going to go online or not go to the meetup groups until you see how these people, fit with you and how you fit with them, or you're just taking a break completely. You want to find love, you're just not sure that you have the energy to go on this month. So you may take a break this October, but I get a feeling most of you are resting and recuperating because you've been dating, all about the numbers, and now maybe you've managed to meet one or two people that you're like, okay, I'm good with this. I'm good. I don't want to continue to go online. I don't want to continue to dig through all the BS, so I'm going to do it this way. And just, kind of get offline or get out of the meetup groups and take my time with this person or these few individuals I've met. If you're looking to reconcile, I feel like maybe there's been some fighting, there's been some back and forth. Either you've decided to just take a break from them completely and not have any communication, or they're not communicating with you, or the Four says that, you guys have maybe started communicating and now you're resting a little more because you're feeling like, okay, we at least made a connection. But for a lot of you, I feel like there was some tension or stress or fighting, and you're just like, I'm done. Like, I still care about them, I still love them, but I need a break. The Four of Cups is your challenges, often internal, anything coming into October that hinders or helps your current position. You have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups, if you're single, is saying, you know, don't take for granted any situations that may have arisen or may come to the forefront. So if you are taking a break and you are focusing on one or two people, there's something here, Aquarius, that's saying you may have overlooked somebody, or you may be thinking, you know, there's just nobody good enough out there for me. But this is saying, like, have another look, take a look at it, also take a look at yourself. But this is also mirroring you not being taken for granted. So make sure that, and I think that's why some of you may be focusing on one or two people, because you only have the energy to dial it in to one or two people, because it's exhausting. I have been there, done that. It is exhausting. And so you may just be like, you know what? Too many people are taking me for granted. They're wasting my time. They're not being sincere or genuine. I've met one or two that could possibly be sincere or genuine, and therefore I'm going to just stick with that and not waste my time or energy on the sites unless I need to. It's kind of like you'll get a few fish, right? And then if those don't pan out, you'll go fishing for a few more instead of like just opening, you know, the entire sea up. If you're looking to reconcile, this is also saying it's both ways. So either you need to be careful about being taken for granted, or you need to be careful about being self-absorbed and being like, I'm not going to waste my time with you. If you really want to be with this person and you really like them, take the break you need, take the rest, because some of it could have been fighting. Some of it could have been just exhausting. And you may just be exhausted, period. Maybe you feel like you're trying every avenue and you're just not getting anywhere. But the Four is also saying, you know, if you are in communication, or if you want to have communication with them, don't take for granted any opportunities you have. So if they're texting you or they're messaging you or something like that, if you really want to be in communication with them, don't dismiss that, because, and Aquarius they're not the type of people to be like, oh, I'm better than you. So it's not that I think that you'd be self-absorbed, like, I can do better than you, but that may be right now your mentality, like, hey, I've tried and tried and tried, and if I'm not good enough for you, I'm good enough for somebody else, is probably a better way of putting it, rather than you think you're too good for them, because that's not Aquarius' style. However, there are points in time, right, when we feel like we can do better, and there's nothing wrong with that, because some people treat us like crap, and that's just the way it is. So for you, if you're looking to reconcile, just be careful that you're not wasting anybody's time, yours or theirs. I think you really need to assess the situation with your ex if you do seriously think about reconciling. The next card you have is your distant past. So this is usually over the past few years, could be 10 years, it could even be childhood. I always read that together with singles and anybody looking to reconcile, because most of the people looking to reconcile, these are relationships a long time ago, not the one that you're interested in. So these are things that you've been through in the past that are coming up this month, or something you need to pay attention to, which is very interesting, because it feels like with this, you were with partners who maybe were like, it's my way or the highway, or it's this way or that way. There's a cause and effect for everything, and this is about maybe they did things or said things or took actions, and they never took responsibility for that. And you're feeling kind of like, I'm not looking for somebody who can behave however they want and then doesn't have any consequences for their action, or doesn't apologize to me. And that may be kind of like where you're feeling here, whether you're single or looking to reconcile. You may just kind of be like, hey, I'm giving you all I've got, and you're not treating me well. And even if you're single, that may be why you've kind of shut down a little bit, because you're saying, you know, I do deserve somebody really good, and I deserve somebody who treats me good, and somebody who takes responsibility for their actions, and somebody who isn't always, it's my way, or cut and dry, or everything's so black and white. Like, there's compromise to relationship. And some of you have come out of relationships where there just wasn't compromise, and you may have been stuck because, you know, maybe it was a young relationship, a high school sweetheart type scenario, and you didn't have any money to kind of get out of that relationship. It could also be that you watched your parents, right? That you like, maybe you had a father figure or mother figure that was just like, nope, this is the way we do it in my family. This is the way we do it in our household. And maybe you watched abuse. Maybe you watched, you know, a father beating a mother, or a mother beating a father, or even kids. And so you've decided that's not the type of relationship I want. I want something with compromise, something with love, something a little deeper than, you know, it's this or that, point blank. There's no gray area. The next card you have is your recent past. So over the past few weeks, in the past month or two, and you have the sun, which is absolutely beautiful. And Aquarius, excuse me, that tells me that you are resting if you're single, because there has been kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. This says there's some clear-sightedness here, there's some hope. And so I really do firmly believe if you have not met one or two people that you can narrow down the playing field with, you will meet one or two people. Or like I said, this is also about solutions. So you may have completely taken yourself offline and you're going to do a matchmaker, or you're going to do a meetup group, and maybe your experience so far has been really pleasant, or you're just enjoying the fact that you're not answering online pings all day long and trying to weed out who's being sincere and who's not being sincere. So if you're single, I think you've kind of like evolved from maybe chaos that you went through the past few months, or maybe over the summer. I know a lot of signs were showing, you know, a lot of chaotic dating, a lot of, you know, different experiences, especially during the summer, especially here in the US, because now all the kids are back to school. And so there's, you know, some sort of structure if you have children, or, you know, maybe you took vacations or did singles cruises or something during the summer and you just kind of felt overwhelmed. And now it's like the sun is saying you kind of see the light of the direction you need to go that's going to fit for you and not make you feel so stressed out about it. If you're looking to reconcile, this kind of tells me that maybe there was some light shed on something, and that's why you're taking a break. Maybe you've been, you know, communicating with this person and you're just not getting anywhere, and they're just not telling you the truth, and they're, you know, taking you for granted, or you've agreed to start seeing them again, but all the while you find out, hey, we're seeing each other, but they're kind of dating because they want to see what's out there. And you're just like, no, I'm not doing this. And until you, you know, embrace me, then, you know, there's hope for something else. Now, it could be the complete opposite. It could be that you guys are in some sort of communication, and that was hopeful because this is the recent past, the past few weeks or month, and the communication turned sour and it turned into bitter, you know, the blame game, finger pointing, all of that. And now you've closed yourself off and you're taking the rest that you need. Because somewhere in the past few weeks, there was hope and a self-awareness. This also very well, Aquarius, could be that you found the self-awareness that you don't need this person. Yes, you miss them and you love them and you kind of want to know, well, what's next if they're not for me? But you have that self-awareness that regardless of whether you are going to end up together, you're okay with it. I think you are feeling exhausted and you're trying to, maybe you're doing things like meditating or yoga, or, you know, just meeting up with friends for long talks or long walks, or taking, you know, a pet on a long walk for longer than normal because you're just needing to regain your strength. You're just burnt out. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months through the end of the year, and you have the Three of Coins. Three of Coins is about partnership and planning, growth. This is about accomplishment, teamwork. So if you're single, I definitely think that you are going to meet somebody. I don't know that it's going to be your twin flame or the person that you fall in love with, because I don't see, normally when I think that's coming, I see like the Ace of Cups or the Two of Cups. However, you do have the Nine of Cups, which is about pleasure, which is about blissful experiences. So you could be, but I see it as more of you building like a dating relationship into more of a committed relationship than into maybe a long-term love relationship. Because the Three of Coins, while it's a beautiful card and it's great, and it's definitely something you want over the future, you're going to be satisfied with whoever this person is. But I think that there's a possibility that you're just getting to know these two or three people that, you know, that you're interested in, and therefore you're going to take your time. It's not going to be rushing into, we're running to the altar. Yes, they make you feel amazing. Yes, you think you could see your future with it, but I think you've just had so many interactions with people that have been negative or disingenuine that you're not going, like, you're going to take your time, which is fine because you're going to accomplish what you want, which is to meet somebody who could possibly be, you know, in your life for a long term. And sometimes that takes time. A lot of times they say, you know, build the friendship first and then do the other things. So you are going to head in that direction, and you are going to be able to accomplish what you've set out to do and who you set out to meet and what type of person you want in your life. I just don't think it's going to happen overnight. If you're looking to reconcile, this does give me hope that at some point, I think you might take a rest or a break, or you may have just settled down. It may not be that the communication has exited. It may just be that you guys have been like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Let's focus on the good times. Because the 3 for a distant future is now saying, well, if you work together, you can accomplish anything. If you work together, you know, we can make this happen. So I think after all is said and done, and if there were some fights or disagreements, you guys will come back together to make it happen. It may be the beginning of next year. I don't think anything in this reading is saying that it's rushed by any means, because all of these cards are pretty steady, you know, pretty balanced and dignified, not anything that's like rushing into love or, you know, showing something that's, you know, like the 8 of Swords that's like fast-paced, you know, quick motion, swift movement. So, again, I think that there's a possibility you could reconcile, which you're one of like one other sign that had possibility of reconciliation. A lot of them were kind of fuzzy, and a lot of them were not in a positive light. The next card you have is your immediate future, so over the next few weeks and through the end of October, and you have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is an excellent card because this is about beginnings. This is about power and clarity. So if you are single, I definitely see you regaining your strength throughout the month, and you are going to focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 people, and that's when you'll decide somebody that you really want to focus on, really pay attention to, or spend your time getting to know. But you're going to be satisfied with that too, because the Ace of Swords is all about being satisfied, which is interesting too, because it's all about clarity. So I really think maybe you'll narrow it down to 1 person, because you have the 1 Sun here. Distant future may mean, you know, because you have the 3, that you're going to be joining families, or, you know, at least introducing children or pets, or, you know, whoever you consider family. But I definitely think that with the Ace of Swords, you have, again, the potential to build whatever you want, find whatever you want, but you're being very careful. And I think that's really, really good. It's very interesting too, because you have, a lot of times I try and look at like what type of energy you have, who you could possibly be meeting. And you have, you know, the Swords, which is air, and then you have Cups, which is water, and then you have Wands, which is fire. So very interesting. You kind of have a plethora of who it could be, because you even have Earth with the King of Coins. So anyways, if you're looking to reconcile, the Ace is also about seeing things logically and clear. I think that you're going to, at some point, either say, look, I don't want to fight, or they're going to say, look, I don't want to fight. And you guys will have to decide if you want to pick up the pieces and move on. But you're going to have to determine that sometimes you have to agree to disagree. Or this is just you figuring out what the hell is going on and moving on. So I'm kind of torn here. I know I said with the 3 of Coins, with teamwork, you can accomplish that and you'll be satisfied. But I really feel like either way you go, you're going to be okay. But you're going to see things clearly, and it's either going to lead you in the direction of, yes, I want to continue this. Yes, I want to fight for us. Or, you know, I'm just not sure what I want. I'm just not sure what I want. And maybe you're not sure what they want. And maybe you're just not willing to wait around for them to make a decision. So you're going to start making a decision on your own. The next card you have is any external factors throughout the month of October. And you have the Hermit. This is about wisdom and retreat, spirituality, getting inside your own head, getting inside your own, spiritual, basically being at one with your soul. This is also a Virgo card. So it could be that you're going to meet a Virgo, or you're dealing with a Virgo. So if you're single, I really do. You have these cards of retreating, withdrawing, going within. I really think, Aquarius, that if you meet this one person, like, they're really going to have to kind of sneak their way into this man or woman cave, because literally I think you're kind of like, you know, if you want to be in my life, that's fine, but I need somebody who is tried and true, somebody who is going to take care of me, somebody that I'd be more than willing to take care of. But I feel like if you have not cut off the dating world, you will feel like doing that, or you may just be toning it down. If you were checking online every day or going to meetup groups, 5 times a week, you may just decide once a week, or, I'm only going to check the dating site once a week. So this really says that you're pulling in, you're trying to figure out what it is you want, who you want to date. Again, I think there's a huge possibility you're going to meet one person that's going to kind of inspire you. You may have met that person. You may have met like I said, 2 or 3 people that you're still in contact with and you're willing to get to know them, but you're genuinely trying to figure out what's going to make you happy, and it's like you're learning behaviors too with the Hermit. It's kind of like you're understanding how dating works now. So maybe you haven't dated in a long time and you started dating a few months ago, maybe a year ago, and it's just like, maybe it's been a long time since you've had a date and you're just feeling like very overwhelmed with it. If you're looking to reconcile, this goes perfectly with the Ace because you're looking for clarity. This is about going inside yourself as well. Aquarius, I think if you're looking to reconcile, you're also going to be strongly focused on what you need, what's important to you, what is going to be healthiest for you. You're going to be buckling down and, maybe just kind of cozying in on the couch with a fire and relaxing, if it's cold enough near you to do that. But this definitely says you're going to retreat, but not in a bad way. You're not running away. You're just taking the time you need to figure out what is going to work best for you and what you want, ultimately, what you want. The next card you have is any future internal factors, or not future, it's throughout the month of October. So this is how you're going to be feeling, which is very interesting because you have the 5 of Swords, and that is somebody who's feeling worried, somebody who feels like maybe they've been dishonored or they feel defeated. And so if you're single, and these two are going to be up and down throughout the month, right? So you may retract once a month, once the entire month, or you may feel like, staying inside and shutting your phone off for the entire month. It's the same with this too. You may feel, some sort of defeat or fear of victory throughout the month, or you may feel like one day for the entire month. But the 5 says that at some point, if you're single, maybe you meet one or 2 people if you haven't already, and these 1 or 2 people, you're thinking they're going to be a good fit for you, and one of them may turn out that it's not going to be a good fit for you, and you're going to feel some sort of defeat or feel like, I just can't do this. I don't have the energy. There's nobody out there for me. So just try not to get in your own headspace, because this 9 of Cups for the theme is unbelievable. For this being your future, it's very good. And for this immediate future, it's very good as well. So whatever happens, don't let it ruin all of the good things you have coming. If you're looking to reconcile, this also is going to be some sort of feeling like, I don't know, you may feel like with all this logic and clarity that you're finding out, that like you've been cheated on, or maybe you realize that this person just isn't that into you, or you're just not that into them. Something's going to make you feel this month like, reconciliation is not what I want. It's not something I foresee. They're not acting in a way that would be good for us to get back together, or I don't know that I want to get back together. There's going to be some sort of letdown here, but same thing I said to singles, you can't let it ruin your entire month, because I think you're going to be fine either way. Like, yes, there's a connection here. Yes, you love this person, but you may be checking in with yourself so much this month because you're really trying to figure out whether it's love or whether it's convenience, whether it's easier to be with that person because it would be harder to be single and know that it's fully cut off and you're done. So I think you're going to be wrestling with yourself to really look past the relationship itself and find out, are you happy? Did it make you happy? Are you making them happy? The next 2 cards you have are going to be your hopes and fears for the outcome of the month of October, and you have the 3 of Wands, and your outcome for the month of October, and you have the King of Coins. And then I'll clarify these 2 with a Deviant Moon card for both the outcome. I'll clarify this, and I'll clarify your distant future. So for the 3 of Wands being your hopes and fears, if you're single, this definitely says, even if you're feeling exhausted, even if you're feeling like taking a break, even if you feel like retreating, you want growth with somebody. You want partnership. You want to plan a future with somebody. Some of you want traditional married with a white picket fence. Other people want, to buy a private island. For some reason, that's been the theme this month. I don't know, maybe because somebody sent me a link that you could actually buy private island, and some of them were a little less expensive than I thought, although I'm sure they need a lot of work and electricity and whatever else, but anything is possible, right? And so I think with the 3 of Wands, you're kind of like, okay, maybe you did come into this month going, I'm done, that's it, I'm shutting it down, And then towards the end of the month, you're going to be like, but I really still want to meet somebody. I really still want to be with somebody. Or, like I said, this one person that you're going to meet is going to be, you know, you might be sad that the other people, you know, have kind of, you know, distanced themselves, or they've kind of dropped off, or whatever happens. But in the end, I think you're really going to look at this person and go, well, this is somebody I could see myself planning a future with, or even, you know, a mini vacation, or this is somebody that definitely has things going for them. And that's obviously something you want, especially if you're looking for partnership, because the Three of Wands is all about partnership. If you're looking to reconcile, it's a toss-up still for me. I apologize, Aquarius, but it really is, because here it's like you're going to feel some hurt or dishonor. But like I said, there's this hope of seeing things clearly. Maybe you realize what you did and what you need to do. Maybe that's why I said here, like, don't think that it's all them. Maybe you're going to start going within and going, how did I participate? How could I make the relationship better? And I'm sure people are going to email me and say it was their fault, and I get it, because that happens. But it does take two to tango, or any other cliche saying that I could say. And you may just be realizing, what do I need to do to make this better? And therefore, if you have had fighting and now it's calming down, or you've taken a break and now you guys do interact again, this says you're going to be planning for a future. So reconciliation is really positive here, but I think it's going to be depending on what you really want and what they really want and the steps you take to get there. Because if you guys get back in communication and there's any quarreling or there's any negativity, that may be the breaking point. And then you may just have to plan a future, you know, moving on and finding somebody else. The outcome, the King of Coins, if you are single, this is about stability. So this is about, and confidence too. So this, it's very interesting, because you have this single rose and you have these single, you know, rays of light. And then you have, you know, two coming together here. Even though it says the Three of Wands, I get it, but it's still two palm trees. So what's interesting here is, like, I feel like you're ending up with the final rose. And I don't watch The Bachelorette or Bachelor, and I'm not knocking anybody who does, because I have seen it. I just haven't seen it in a long time. And that immediately reminds me of that. So I clearly think it's laid out here, Aquarius. If you don't meet him in the beginning of the month or the middle of the month, you'll meet him by the end of October or going into November, because the King is stability. So this is feeling confident in one person. And maybe these people that you get upset about weed themselves out for a reason. Either they're not as confident as in you, or you're not as confident in them, or you like them more than they like you, or vice versa. There's going to be some way that it's going to narrow down to one, maybe two. But I think the King is saying there's going to be, and whoever this person you're going to meet, and it could be an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, because it's a coin card and obviously a flower from the earth. But earth signs are generally really confident in business, and, you know, if they want to be wealthy, I'm not saying all Virgos, Capricorns, and Taurus are wealthy, because that's not the case at all. But if they want to be confident in business, they can. And this person who's coming in, they kind of have their stuff together, if that makes sense. And so I think it's definitely going to be good. If you're looking to reconcile, you're going to be confident in whatever decision comes here. And this is stability. So like I said, I think that there's a very good possibility that you will get back together, but there's going to be a momentum that has to be there, some sort of flow. And you ultimately have to make the decision, because even though they made mistakes and you made mistakes, I think you're really trying to figure out if it's love or, like I said, convenience, or just something that you've gotten used to. And so it's kind of, you know, repetition, and now you're going, maybe I need to break that cycle. So I think it's very positive if you want to, but I think that there's got to be a lot there for that to happen. So I pulled your cards for the outcome and for the distant future. So your outcome is the Page of Pentacles, or the Page of Coins. And the Page is somebody who's responsible. They have they aspire to do things, but they're also very practical about it, pragmatic. So I really think if you're single, that you're going to meet somebody who fits well with you. They're not chaotic. They don't make you feel stressed. They don't make you feel crazy. They are somebody that you could have this teamwork and build the Three of Coins with. They're, and again, you have coins. You have the King of Coins, the Page of Pentacles, and the Three of Coins. So I really think It could be an earth sign for you. But again, this Page of Pentacles energy says that this person's coming in and they're going to kind of guide you. They could be an older energy too. It could be somebody older than you, because they do seem to have it together and they are confident in, they're responsible. I mean, they're just confident in life and they like to have fun, but at the same time, like they've learned their life lessons. Not all of them, but you're going to feel like they have a life balance going on. If you're looking to reconcile, this is about, being practical as well. This is you aspiring to new heights. So it could be aspiring to something new with, your partner, the person that you're looking to reconcile with. But the interesting thing is this says responsibility, right? And so this tells me that if you do want to reconcile and you do find that you love this person and it is worth the connection, you are going to have to take responsibility for your half and they're going to have to take responsibility for their half. And I'm not saying you're not at all, Aquarius, but one of you is saying, well, you did worse than me. And I think you're both just going to have to cut it off. If you want to grow this and get back together, you guys are both just going to have to come clean with, what you want. And I just realized that candle went out, which is interesting. I've had one other sign that goes out and there's no air, nothing, unless I'm blowing hot air out of my mouth the entire time. But it's very interesting that I've had two signs that candle's gone out. I'd be interested to find out when it actually went out. Because the last time it went out in one of the other reads, there was like an orb or something that went across the screen and then the candle went out. So, and those are new tea light candles in there, so it shouldn't be going out. The last card you have is the Wheel of Fortune. That's clarifying your distant future. The Wheel of Fortune is all about destiny. It's about change. It's about seeing things clearly. So you have a lot of cards about clarity. And if you're single, this says, look, if things have not been going the way that you want, something unplanned is going to happen. So I really think you're going to meet that person. And the unplanned, it may feel like defeat at first because, oh, why doesn't he or she like me? Or I thought things were going well with them. But it's all purpose. The universe has something going on. They have something in store for you, and the wheel is spinning. And I definitely think that that's going to be a positive. You're going to land on something very positive and interesting. I never noticed that, but that heart is right there. And if you're looking to reconcile, I think it's exactly the same thing. I think that if you guys make changes, everything is possible. If you don't make changes, then you don't know how you're going to end up. It's going to be a mystery. And I feel like, Aquarius, you're done guessing and playing games. So you're kind of like, hey, we're going to communicate. We are going to make some change. We're going to make some changes. And then we could have the destiny we want. But if we don't do this, the wheel is going to take a turn for the bad. So I hope you enjoy your October, Aquarius. And I can't wait to see you next month. Bye.